We start at the top, number one, that's OKC. The Thunder, well, they came up with the best mark in the Western Conference. That's because they have firepower.
They have that player right there, Russell Westbrook. And is it his sidekick or is Russell his sidekick?
Easy now, easy now.
I'm just saying.
Denied a fourth straight scoring title this
That combination is really good.
35 is still number one in my book. Ex-Thunder James Harden, he gave Houston instant credibility this year.
And instant offense as well.
Yes.
The Beard put on his show, but I think underrated, not talked about a lot, was Ashik, coach. I think he did an excellent job of increasing his scoring and being a presence defensively for the Rockets.
He was a nice get for Houston, that's for sure. Well, Durant led the Thunder to 2 wins in 3 games against the Rockets in the season matchup. You might recall Harden had a huge game, 46, against his old team back in February. Houston tried to get that 7th spot in the West, but the Lakers bumped them down on the final day of the season. But all in all, James Harden, what a story this year for Houston. He has taken center stage and loved it. You know, it's really funny how the basketball gods work. We've talked about this all year, Mike, about the Kevin Martin, James Harden. How would this play out in postseason? We're going to get a good look at both teams at the same time.
Well, Harden averaged against OKC this year over 29 points per game. Martin averaged 17 points, obviously in fewer minutes than Martin was getting coming off the bench. But I'm looking at it and saying, if we switch those uniforms back again and Harden had that Oklahoma City uniform on, they might have a chance to beat Miami in the finals. That's how important.
Coach, I'm with you. I mean, the way he's played, and unfortunately, he didn't have a great finals last season with OKC, but we all knew the talent. Did we know he can average 29 points this year? I didn't see that coming. I thought he'd be real good, but he led this team to the playoffs. What I like about him is we see the scoring, but he gets to that free throw line. He's a physical 2-guard, averaging 10-plus free throw attempts, getting to the line, and I think he's put everybody in their rightfully placed with Houston. They're comfortable playing with him. Jeremy Lin and those two seem like they've been playing for years, and I like the way he distributes. Even though he can score a lot of points, Coach, he will give it up and get other guys easy buckets.
You know who I liken him to a little bit? Go back a few years in his career. But Ginobili, if you think about it, he becomes that other guy off the dribble to create, to get to the rim, good enough to hit the shot from the outside, and it takes the ball out of the point guard's hands at times because, in essence, he becomes the point guard when it's his turn.
Harden is there, and that familiarity is something that Oklahoma City is going to have to deal with. Smitty, you said, what do you think Oklahoma City's first reaction was when they realized they were going to play Harden and Houston in the final?
Here he comes, the beer, because, I mean, you know, James Harden coming back to OKC, he's familiar with you. I mean, he showed that he had 46 points. It's a little extra for him. I think, yes, OKC will win this series, but James Harden is going to make this interesting. And then Omer Ashik is a player that can go in there and have a double-double, be a presence down there. Chandler Parsons, those guys on the wings do a good job. I don't think they'll win this series, but I think they can make it interesting. Coach, the reason why is when we talk about OKC, and we talk about their numbers and stats, they're always usually better than their team in fast break points, where Houston is better than them in their series. And then getting to the free throw line attempts, that's what OKC does. But Houston is better than them. So those are 2 areas that I think Houston has a chance to beat OKC, but it's going to come down to points in the paint. This is where Houston's going to have to find some points somewhere on the block.
Remember, Houston made it in to the playoffs in the Western Conference because most teams that they played against couldn't score as many points as they could score. So they would go up and down with you, just outscore you. But when you look at what happened against Oklahoma City this season, Oklahoma City averaged 121 points a game against Houston, so they can score as well.